We're sneaking this video in between a nap, so we'll see how far we get. Cheers. How are you doing today? My name is Mary and this is Happily Ever Esch, and today I want to do a video that has been inspired by Russell over at Ink and Paper Blogs. I will put his channel down below, and then the videos that I am referring to I will also put down below. But he does a series where he shares 5 backlist books that he's read or books that he would like to read that are on his shelves that he thinks that you would enjoy and wants to share with the booktube world. And these are some of my favorite videos to watch. I love backlist. There's just something about discovering something that has just been around for a while and something that I know I could potentially stumble upon at like a used book sale or a used bookstore. I don't know, there's just something like really thrilling to me about that. So I absolutely love his series, and he's inspired me to take a look at my shelves. Most of the things that are on my shelves are backlist. And so I made myself a little TBR, and when I read these books, hopefully I will read these books, I will come back and can share my backlist reads with you, and then maybe continue to do this. I will always be accumulating more books. I have a ton of backlists still on my shelves, so I kind of broke this into different categories, and I'm just really excited to share what's on my backlist, what I'm excited about from my backlist to read, and yeah, let's just hop on in. So my cutoff for this was 2012. That was the year that I graduated high school. I know technically backlist would be anything that's not published, you know, in 2019 or 18, but I wanted to kind of give myself a cutoff of the year that I graduated high school. So that's what I will be doing and what I'll be sharing with you guys. So my first category was short story collections, and the one that I pulled from my shelf is A Manual for Cleaning Women by Lucia Berlin, and this is selected short stories. So Lucia Berlin wrote in the mid and late 20th century, but she really wasn't discovered until after she passed away. And so this collection of short stories was actually published, bound up in 2015, but I'm counting it because all of the stories were written, I think, before 2000. We can check. Yeah, I think the last story was published in 1999. So definitely backlist. I'm really excited to try out stories from her. She's touted as being a wonderful short story writer. It says that Berlin crafts miracles from the everyday, uncovering moments of grace in the laundromats and halfway houses of the American Southwest, in the homes of the Bay Area upper class, among switchboard operators and struggling mothers, hitchhikers, and bad Christians. Readers will revel in this remarkable collection from a master of the form and wonder how they ever overlooked her in the first place. I think it just sounds wonderful. I'm really hoping that these are realist stories and the short stories that I really connect with. It sounds like that they could be. So yeah, I'm really excited about this collection, and I love this cover with this is like my favorite color, and I love just the simple design on the front. So that's a lot of fun. For historical fiction, I picked The Seamstress. This is by Frances de Pontes Pebles. That was my horrible attempt at pronouncing this name. This is historical fiction set in Brazil. I believe that it follows 2 sisters and their lives just unraveling in the political unbalance of a country. But I think it's really just looking at their relationship. I found this at my library's used book sale in the fall, so it was just one that I picked up on a whim. I really liked the cover. The quotes on the back sounded really intriguing. An engrossing historical saga. I think saga is definitely a buzzword for me. And yeah, it says the novel's true beauty is the exquisitely realized relationships between Amelia and Louisa, 2 strong women who, despite the separate paths their lives take, remain connected and committed to each other. It just sounded really great. It had really good ratings on Goodreads. I believe this was published in 2008. Yep, 2008, and it's one of those wonderfully floppy chunks of a book, and so this I think will be a fun one to get sucked into, and I'm really excited for this to be my historical fiction pick. Next, I did a booktube darling category, which was a little tricky because a lot of the booktube books that I've purchased have been newer releases, but one that was published in 2012 is The Light Between Oceans by M.L. Steedman, and I have put this on I don't know how many TBRs, and it is high time that I get to it. This is a much beloved novel following a family who are lighthouse keepers. I believe that they are struggling with infertility and they would like to have children, but they can't. It's very heartbreaking and heart-wrenching for them, as one would expect. And I believe that one day a child washes up on the shores of their lighthouse, and they have to decide, are they going to keep this child? Are they going to try to figure out where this child came from? And then dealing with the ramifications of that choice. It's a pretty short read. It should not take me that long, and it just sounds beautiful. It sounds very one of those stories that, like, what would you do? And I think that there's, you know, it's great. There are no right or wrong answers, and so I'm really excited to pick this one up. I believe that I can get the audiobook on Hoopla or my Overdrive, so we'll see if I do that as well. Maybe would be a good one to pick up on audio. So yeah, I'm very, very excited to read this booktube darling. Next, for my nonfiction pick, I chose The Spirit Catches You and You Fall Down, A Hmong Child, Her American Doctors, and the Collision of Two Cultures by Anne Fadiman. This sounds super interesting. It is the story of a young child. I believe she has some sort of disorder, potentially seizures. Oh yes, she's diagnosed with severe epilepsy. And it is her parents, like it says, kind of their culture, how they would choose to treat the child, how the system and the doctors and the hospital wants to treat this child. And it's, I think, just the story of this unfurling, and it sounds like there's so many good things in this nonfiction. The personal story and like the workings of this family, the culture of this family, as well as, you know, the bigger institution, and how far is too far in family autonomy and taking care of your children, how far is too far for the state or an institution to overstep and take care of your child. Yeah, it just sounds like there's just going to be so many things all wrapped up in this book. The back says, Leah's parents and her doctors both wanted what was best for Leah, but the lack of understanding between them led to tragedy. Winner of the National Book Critics Circle Award for Nonfiction. It's a compassionate account of the cultural impasse, and it's literary journalism at its finest. So I think this sounds super duper interesting, and I'm really excited to try it out. And I don't think I said this was published in 1997. So definitely backlist. Next category that I picked was fantasy. This one in particular happens to be YA fantasy, and that is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. And this was published in 2011. I have Laini Taylor's newest novel, Strange the Dreamer, which I know is super beloved on BookTube, but I want to try her first series out before I start that one. It says that this is a story of modern fantasy about forbidden love, an ancient and epic battle, and hope for a world remade. I really know nothing. Laini Taylor's books, it kind of seems, are always very elusively spoken about, so I don't want to dig too deep. I want to kind of experience this for myself, but I did find the second one at a used book sale as well, so that was really exciting. So if I enjoy this, I can continue on, and I believe I can also get this on audio, and so I might do that. But yeah, Laini Taylor seems to be beloved by not only YA readers, but also it seems like a lot of just fantasy readers seem to really enjoy her, and she writes a very lyrical, with a very lyrical prose. So I'm excited to try Miss Laini Taylor out. And then last but certainly not least, I did kind of like a contemporary category, so these would have been contemporary in the time that they were published. And I have two picks by Anne Tyler, and so I don't know if I will read both of these for my little project. But I just finished Dinner at the Homesick Restaurant by Anne Tyler, and I absolutely adored it. She's one of those writers where not a lot happens. It's kind of just character studies, but she just is so observant, so keenly observant of the human condition. And so I have two on my shelf that I will pick from. The first being The Accidental Tourist, which I believe follows a travel writer who hates traveling, and I believe he meets a woman, and it's kind of, I just think, of observations into their lives. This was published right after Dinner at the Homesick Restaurant. Yeah, because that was published in 1982, and then this was published in 1985. And so I love this vintage edition that I also found at a used book sale. That's the theme with my backlist books. And then I also have A Patchwork Planet by Ann Tyler, and this is a beautiful hardback edition. And this book, oh, it was a Book of the Month selection sometime. And this book was published in 1998. And this follows the story of Barnaby Gatland, who, it sounds like, had a habit of breaking into people's houses and kind of just snooping. He didn't really steal anything significant, I don't think. Yeah, just like to read other people's mail, pore over their family photo albums, and appropriate a few of their precious mementos. And so we're following him later in life, where he now is a mover for people, elderly shut-ins, people who can't move things themselves. And I think it's kind of just looking back on his life. Again, quiet novel, just kind of observing this man, a character study, it sounds like, and I think Ann Tyler is brilliant at that. I also have A Spool of Blue Thread by Ann Tyler. This, I don't think would count in my backlist. I think this was published in 2015. Yeah, in 2015. But another one that I want to get to because I just think Ann Tyler's brilliant. So I loved Dinner at the Homesick Restaurant, and I'm so excited to continue on. She just writes really readable literary fiction, and just, like, again, it's just so keenly observant. So yeah, here is my backlist TBR. Let's see if we can hold them up. Are these all written by women? I think so. Is Light Between Oceans written by a woman? Yes, her first novel. So look at this lovely pile of ladies that I'm hoping to read soon and report back. So will this be accountability? Who knows? But right now I'm really excited about them all. So what are some backlist recommendations that you have for me? What are some of your favorite backlist books? I would love to know. And thanks again to Russell for inspiring this video. Again, I'll link his videos down below. They're some of my favorites to watch, so I definitely would suggest you check them out. All right, friends, I hope that you're having a great rest of your day. We made it. No one woke up, so that was exciting. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye.